are the New York Knicks. I'm back. Back in the New York. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast, episode 555, part of Dash Radio, and I think that's it. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Mark? That was
Jay,
I kind of flubbed
Jay.
the intro for that, didn't I?
I know you flummoxed this. Jay, why are you here? Why are you doing this?
Well, I mean, because the Knicks are
Jay.
on a tear. They've
Jay,
won
you're
one
not
out of the
supposed to-
last two games.
Jay, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you doing this, Jay?
What do you mean I'm not supposed to be here?
Jay, you're supposed to be in health and safety protocols. Come on, Jay.
Oh, that is
Jay,
true.
come on. This is what everyone in the NBA is doing now. We all go to health and safety protocols. Dude, everyone's gone, Jay. Everyone's gone.
Seriously. Everything you've ever
Post-
known and loved is in health and safety protocols.
We are moving on to post-apocalyptic NBA. Jay, have you heard about the lowest moment in Shams? Shams Charania? Shams. Have you heard about the lowest moment in his life?
I have not.
I want to report this before we even go further. So, like something, he pretty much had the lowest moment of his career today. You still not know what I'm talking about?
I'm assuming he had to announce some ridiculous, like,
He had this. Shams today announced the New York Knicks have signed guard Matt Mooney out of the NBA G League of Mexico City's Capitanes to a 10-day contract. Shams probably cried as he tweeted this. He's like, in the offseason, I'm announcing big names. And who the hell is Matt Mooney? I can't believe I've announced this. And they're like, Shams, way to get the scoop. He's like,
so I
"Don't
was
even
actually
try."
going to devote a large segment of today's episode to Matt Mooney, so you kind of killed my thunder there.
People have been like, Shams, way to get the scoop. He's like, don't even, I hate your sarcasm. Okay, let's go on about Matt Mooney. I assume this is going to be Matt Mooney, Linsanity. What are we going to call it? Matt Sanity? Mooney Crazy? Mooney Nanius? What are we going to call it, Jay?
Moonania?
I think we're going to devote the rest of the episode to Matt Mooney. Jay, so tell me the scouting report.
So he started off as a kid growing up in rural Alabama. And
Okay, let's go back and forth. I understand Matt Mooney has two arms. Go.
he didn't pick up a basketball until he was 13 years old, but then things changed.
He was a prodigy. At the age of 5, he could identify a basketball.
All right, let's move on from Matt Mooney.
The Knicks have also, where are they now? Damian Dotson is a New York Knick again for 9 to 10 days from now.
Welcome back, Damian Dotson.
For almost 2 weeks, you'll be on this team. We're very excited.
I mean, it's good to see him back. I didn't dislike him. He was one of the few I actually liked from the dark years.
No, I definitely liked him. He was definitely a guy. I think maybe we're both guilty of this, being like, I wish he'd get a little more playing time. Maybe he'll turn into something. And then we found out a few years later, no, he won't turn into anything. I mean, he's not skilled enough to actually be a good player in the NBA.
I mean, we're just desperate for somebody to turn into every time that anybody on the Knicks gets a basket, we're like, this is probably the next big thing. If only he played 37 minutes a game.
And also, we become obsessed with the scouting report in the guy. He plays some good defense according to the scouting report, and he's a good shooter from 3. And we're like, oh my God, he's 3-and-D. He could, if he played 35 minutes a night, we would rock. He's our answer. I'd be like, hey, when he gets playing time, he's not that good. No, he's not getting the right playing time.
I read the
It's
scouting
coaching.
report. He's Steph Curry and Draymond Green combined. I read the scouting report.
I remember he went to Cleveland after the Knicks didn't extend him because they don't extend players. And everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's going to be so good on Cleveland. And Cleveland's like, yeah, we don't think he's good either. So we're not going to keep him here very long. And that's how he's back on
There's been a
He's back on
similar
the Knicks.
story for most of the guys that have left the Knicks.
So I was listening to Bill Simmons earlier, and he raised an interesting point. Because there are a lot of these G leaguers, a lot of players who are getting playing time because of all the COVID protocols, a lot of guys being out. There's going to be a lot of guys getting minutes that would not normally have gotten minutes. And I'm not saying Matt Mooney or Damian Johnson will get any minutes on the Knicks, but do you think there'll be a Linsanity light situation?
Absolutely.
Like some guy.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah, you got teams like the Nets that have 10 guys out. They're playing like 5 or 6 random guys. The odds are like somebody's going to break out on one of these teams.
That'd be pretty awesome. Do you think it's going to be Matt Mooney?
Absolutely.
I saw a highlight. Someone was like, he can shoot. They got someone who could score. And then the following tweet was like, he's not going to play. Can we move on?
Right. We're starting with that already.
But yeah, it is good. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see if anyone breaks out.
You know who broke out?
Who broke out?
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker did break out. He's an up and comer.
29 points. He actually had a plus in the plus minus.
Yeah. What do we think about Kemba? Have you heard the Kemba news, by the way?
Oh, well, he had a good game. Does that mean he's in health and safety protocols? Because the last 5 Knicks who had a good game entered health and safety protocols.
That does seem like you're kind of required to go to health and safety. It's unbelievable. So there's a rumor. Have you heard about the rumor?
I have not.
So an unsubstantiated rumor was on Twitter. Now, I know Twitter doesn't normally allow unsubstantiated rumors.
Right. First time.
Yeah, first time ever. But let me read this to you. As I didn't know if you saw this. I thought it was interesting. It's by Zico at Agent Zico, which is usually the name you use when you're a good source.
Sounds very legit.
But according to this source, Randall and Rose have tried to stay positive, but being that they are quiet, they don't know how to address the issue. But Taj and Kenny Payne have had to intervene once already, and it was with Kemba and Mitch. Apparently, certain guys even talked down to Tibbs and are disrespectful to him. Even though he's considered a nice guy in the league, Kemba has been one of them, and that's what set Tibbs off on him. Some of the guys like Randall, Rose, Burks, and Taj, and even IQ don't like this because they're more conservative and respectful and respect your elders types. Some of the teams want Tibbs. Some of the team wants Tibbs out, but this has put a strain on the roster because guys don't like the way it's being handled. No one on the team has problems with the players, and no players have gotten in any altercations, but there isn't any cohesion. The team used to work out together after every game and came early and all out extra effort and put a lot of extra effort in. That hasn't been the case this year. Obi and Mitch skip this often. Barrett has started to skip at times as well, as does Kemba, who still takes care of himself but does his own thing, not with the group.
Well, that's terrible.
Again, no idea if this is legit or not.
Right.
But it was posted. Someone posted it, and a bunch of Knicks accounts just asked "Hey, what do you think about this?" Supposedly, whoever posted it claims it was from a very. Oh, here the source. According to this, the source is legitimately credible. Without saying the name, he is someone who is part of the group that Randall works out with every summer. And this guy claims he knows these guys I hoop with these guys often as they have semi-pro college ball runs here in LA, and I hoop with a group of them this morning. Randall is really close to blah, blah, blah. Basically, this guy knows someone who knows someone, basically. And he says there's legit locker room division right now. If you guys are not having it with Tibbs, Kemba and Mitch are the two of the biggest and voice it among the younger guys like Barrett and Obi, and have even gotten into their heads with it.
Weird that 3 out of the 4 guys who don't get enough minutes are the ones that are acting up.
Well, so generally speaking, when you win, everything's fine unless you're Shaq and Kobe. And when you lose, problems happen.
Yeah.
So, but do you think, again, having no idea if the source is credible or just some asshole making stuff up on Twitter, but do you think there's some? Does this sound credible to you?
It sounds very credible to me because the Knicks have almost the same roster as last season and are not good now. Something's going wrong, and chemistry is usually the thing. If you have the same talent level and you're much worse, it's usually a chemistry issue. So
Right. I
it
feel like the team
sounds-
last year, one of the big things was how they worked out together so much. Like that whole story where Randall would like get a gym anytime they went to a town, they'd all go practice together when they got to a new town.
Yep.
The cohesion's not there. It would make sense that maybe they're not working out as much together as they used to. And new guys like Fournier, and Fournier's not mentioned, but like Kemba are probably not as into the team workouts because they weren't here last year. And they're veterans who may not be like, let me just go with the program kind of guys, especially Kemba. I don't know, maybe like so other people have said like, well, like last year, Elfrid Payton got to be with the team all like 82 games despite sucking, and the rug basically was pulled out under Kemba really fast. Maybe it's because Kemba's been disrespectful to Tibbs and doesn't seem like a team player.
Yeah, I mean,
Off
that
the
would make
court.
more sense if Kemba was being disrespectful and then the coach just pulls him. That makes more sense. I missed that part. Anthony said Kemba was screaming, "I can play" to Tibbs. I missed that.
When was this? At the last when?
Yeah, I guess during his 29-point game.
Oh, also the other thing I was going to point out is remember when Tibbs called out Barrett in like a post game, basically saying he needs to spend more time working on a shot.
Yeah.
He called, and I was like, it's weird for him. Like he's not usually a guy that calls players out after like that. But maybe because he's just been. Maybe Barrett hasn't been working out with the team as much, like, or just not doing these workouts the way the whole team is.
Yeah, I mean, if you see a guy not working out and then his shot is getting worse, kind of like, hey, why don't you work out?
Yeah, I
Why
mean,
don't you do that?
Barrett's a hard worker supposedly, and it could be just he's working out without like on his own, but like maybe, yeah, I don't know. There was a report in the New York Post, not to just play gossip, but the Knicks aren't that interesting. I mean, they are, but Kemba basically was asked, have you talked to Tibbs during these 9 straight do not plays? He says, no, sir. Were you confused by that? Was I confused? Walker said, no, I'm not starting. I ain't playing. So I'm here for the team. I'm here for my teammates. I can't say it enough. Whatever's asked of me, that's what I'm here for. But he seemed kind of annoyed, basically.
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, he claims that Tibbs hasn't said anything to him, basically.
I mean, you look forward to playing for a team for a decade, and then you play 20 games, and then you're benched and getting 0 minutes. I'd be annoyed, too.
Walker indicated he didn't want to stick with his hometown team if he wasn't going to play, which is kind of a given.
Yeah.
I mean, it is weird. Also, he pointed out that Walker was kind of annoyed because he said he was told to foul with 2 minutes left to go in the Celtics game, which was his 6th foul. So he basically was told to foul out of the game. That was just like a weird thing to have done.
Tibbs couldn't pick any other player on the roster. I mean, Kemba was having a good game.
No, Kevin. I mean, the game was almost over at that point anyway. But
It's still weird.
it's still weird. When he fouled out, I was surprised. It's still weird. I don't know. So since last show, the Knicks lost to Golden State. We all celebrated Steph Curry breaking the 3-point record. Then they had a big win against Houston, and then they lost against the Celtics. I guess the big Kemba game was maybe one of the stories we should talk about here. What do you think about Kemba going forward? Has he earned his spot back in the rotation, or is he done as soon as these guys come off COVID protocols?
I think he's probably going to get benched again. I mean, even though he's still good on offense, he can still do things. It's just
You have a decent game, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just he gets shredded on defense, and I think Tibbs is going to focus on that. And then if there's the whole disrespect thing, like I think he's going to use that as a statement. I don't know. I feel like the whole thing it's getting to the point where a move is going to have to be made, I think.
I mean, on a positive note, the fact that he had a pretty decent game is helpful. Just the idea of like the Knicks want to trade him. There's some value to trade him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got some stuff left in the tank. From what I read, teams are concerned about his knee. He's not injured now, but teams are concerned about the longevity of his knee lasting.
Well, good news. He's not on a max contract or anything. You just have him for a year and a half. So
Yeah, exactly. It's not it's not like a cap breaker contract. It's not like a John Wall. If he gets injured, you're paying $50 million a year for 3 years. It's not a terrible contract.
right, I'm sure the Knicks would take a second round pick and just like someone on a 1 year deal to get out of the contract. Like,
Yeah.
um, it'll be interesting to see if they can move him. I'm assuming they will try to move him either way. But I guess he gets to play again tomorrow night because they're still missing a bunch of players, and I'm assuming that guy that I just mentioned is not going to play very much. So,
So every young guy that we've been excited about in the last 2 weeks is out. We got Obi, Barrett, Grimes, McBride, and Sims. Did I even-
it's Obi, congratulations on your career game. You get COVID. Thanks. Hey Grimes, congratulations on your career game. You get COVID. Knox, those weren't bad games. Here's your COVID. McBride, way to step up. Here's your COVID. Was the prize for having? I have a question. Was the prize for having a career game getting to kiss the last guy that had the career game?
yeah,
What
it's
the
crazy.
hell? So one of the reasons one of the reasons Kemba probably should not get like major minutes going forward is what was the guy that stepped up in the Houston game. You want to talk about McBride?
McBride looked good. McBride got a lot of assists, which is something I have been waiting for a Knicks point guard. Because we have Kemba and he'll score like 30 points, and then you look at the box score, he has like one assist, and you're like, we need a point guard who can like set up plays and set up other players, and McBride was doing that. He looked good, and he was playing defense.
Like, hey Knicks, true or false? The point guard should get assists. True, false, true, false.
Trolls.
What's an assist?
True.
Yeah, he looked really good. He played solid. I mean, I don't know the advanced numbers on his. I know his advanced numbers on his defense, but he looked solid out there. He seemed like he had good chemistry on offense. He looked like a veteran who's a rookie, basically. He looked pretty comfortable out there.
And I think since last show we had the Grimes 7 3-pointer game.
I think that was from last show. Oh, was that the Warriors game? No. That was that the Warriors game?
I don't even remember anymore. It's hard to keep track of these games because it's like a different roster every game now because everyone's out. So like they're all a blur. But anyway, the Grimes and McBride do not look scared.
I think we talked about Grimes last show.
They
Go
look
on.
confident. They both look confident. They don't look like rookies, especially getting thrown into major minutes like 20 games into the season without getting minutes before. They're just like, yeah, sure, I'm going to go and just kick ass all game.
I'm not certain about Leon Rose's moves when it comes to free agency or roster construction. And I've criticized how he moves around draft picks or like doesn't always use them. But the guys he drafted, like, he's doing a pretty solid job of finding talent.
Yeah. And, Sims might end up being something too.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, like, we've had all these years of guys that are, like, barely NBA players. Like, you could argue maybe the Knicks should have taken Halliburton over Obi, but Obi looks like a solid player.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, obviously, looks like a very solid player. These two guys who were, like, late first and, like, second-round pick look like solid players. And Sims looks like a guy who might be able to play in the NBA for a while also. Like, he's finding talent. Like, we're not throwing away picks anymore, at least, which is something.
Yeah, finally. I was posting and toasting was revisiting all of Donnie Walsh's moves, and I blotted out of my mind the Jordan Hill draft pick, and that was another top 10 pick that made no sense at the time, and was immediately a bad move.
I mean, not to get into the big thing. The pick didn't make sense as it is, and then the Knicks like immediately traded the pick because they were clearing space for LeBron. Obviously, never came. But like, I never understood. Like, you drafted the guy 8th, and you're getting rid of him right away.
Yeah, it was just a bad pick.
It was. I guess they figured out it was bad. Whatever. I can't revisit the horror show of. There's enough bad stuff going on now. We don't need to revisit the past bad stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So my favorite story of the week was the Nets holding Kyrie out because they were worried he was going to spread COVID, and then they lost so many guys to COVID. They're like, all right, we'll let Kyrie play, and then he gets COVID before he even plays a game. I just find that really hilarious.
Yeah, that was the that was one of those it was like the Onion wrote that basically for us.
Exactly. Somebody tweeted he did exactly one high five before he got COVID.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, everyone. So it's funny. Also, the Knicks. Someone was saying they were saying, oh, like before the Celtics game, they're like, oh, Knicks gonna have a tough time today with everyone out. I'm like, yeah, it's tough for the Knicks. They only have their starters.
Yeah, sadly that is a problem.
Yeah, all the young rookies, all the young guys are out. Only the vets get to play, and the Knicks are like, well, screw it, we can't win with the vets. If you look at the how crazy is it? Also, if you look at the just the I know plus minus isn't the biggest thing in the world, but I thought the Houston game had a very interesting plus minus to the Knicks.
Well, I mean, over a long enough sample size, plus minus, you can't look at one game and look at plus minus. But once you got 30 games under your belt, plus minus starts to show a picture.
But it was funny because again in the Houston game, it was Randall -9, Noel -8, Rose -6, Burks had a plus 13, then Fournier -6. Then we go to the bench. Gibson plus 22, Mitch plus 21, McBride plus 19, IQ plus 19.
And I bet Burks played a lot of minutes with the bench.
Yeah, well, obviously. McBride played 36 minutes, which was like, thank you, Derrick Rose, for taking the night off. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Some people criticize, so going back to the Golden State game, some people critique the Knicks for Knicks. Everyone celebrated when Steph Curry broke the record. Do you think the Knicks fans is that MSG should they have been celebrating Steph Curry?
I get showing him respect and cheering, but the crowd was on their feet like the entire time. And my take on that is the TikTok generation trying to be part of a viral moment. And they weren't actually that excited. They just wanted to get internet clout.
I think it's just that so if it was LeBron breaking like the all-time scoring record, I don't know if everyone really cared. I mean, everyone cares, but I don't think everyone claps that way. I think Steph Curry is just one of the more likable players of our generation. He
is. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. He's the villain to a lot of fan bases. He's kind of arrogant, and he kind of he flaunts. He just shimmies and stuff. That pisses a lot of people off. I still think it was just people wanted to be a part of a moment.
I think he's one of those guys that if you're not, because of his 3-point shooting is just so insane that I think enough people, unless your team has a rivalry with him, I feel like most people just appreciate it.
I mean, he doesn't do or say anything in the media that is really unlikable. Like, some players, every time they open their mouth, you're like, can he just not talk anymore? But Curry doesn't seem to have those moments.
No, he doesn't have the LeBron moments. And he also...
I didn't want to say it, but yes, it was LeBron.
Yes. So LeBron obviously is amazing. Amazing player. But LeBron, he whines and all. He does a lot of shit that drives people crazy.
Not the most likable person.
Yeah. And ever since he did the whole, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, that kind of hurt him. Obviously, Steph just got drafted by the same team, stayed with that team. But I also feel again, like the Harden thing, you go in, you get these foul calls, and people are like, stupid fouls. And Steph's biggest talent is finding the slightest bit of space and hitting and just chucking a shot up that no one else in the NBA should even take and having it go in.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of okay, he's just kind of superhuman. People kind of appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think, I guess, is it better that the fans cheer for him, take that moment, or the Knicks show we take 20 minutes out of it just to talk about him?
Touche.
I have a game for you.
Okay.
We go back to the Knicks in a second. This will be the Knicks, but I have a little game for you because I did a game on our Brink show, and everyone should check out our Brink show. But okay, kind of an under/over, higher, lower type thing. I want to see how you do with this.
Okay.
These are Knicks stats.
All right.
Okay, all team stats. Okay, the Knicks 3-point shooting percentage
mm-hmm.
As a team Do you think they've been doing a good job or a bad job this season? 3-point shooting.
Definitely much worse than last season.
Okay. I'm going to say 15th in the NBA. Are they higher or lower? I guess lower being a lower number, higher being.
And last year they were 1, right?
In 3-point percentage, the Knicks were the best team in the NBA in 3-point percentage last year. They didn't take as many shots as everyone, but they were the best team. This year, spoiler alert, they're not the best team in 3-point percentage. But how do they compare? So middle of the pack, are they lower half or upper half?
Andrew says higher. I'm going to say lower.
Okay. They are actually higher, or like upper top half, top 15. They are actually 7th in the NBA in 3-point shoot percentage.
It doesn't feel like it.
It does not feel like
It's
it.
got to be the bench because Randall and Barrett have both not shot good at all. And Fournier hasn't really shot good either.
Oh, I saw a thing on Twitter, which was interesting. The new strategy of how to deal with Randall's 3-point shooting, where teams don't even bother trying to cover him and just say, hit the shot.
I
and
saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and ran all these clips of the defender being like, just kind of waving to him from 5 feet away, and Randall missing the shot.
Yep.
Okay, next one. Points per game. So basically, Knicks points per game, team score. Are they doing a good job with that? Are Knicks scoring a lot of points this year?
For the most part, I think they're doing all right.
You think they're one of the better teams, like top half or bottom half?
I'm going to say top half.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a different question actually. So, what was the one player that you'd like on the Knicks more than anyone?
This season?
Just it's generally speaking.
Charles
Going
Oakley?
forward. No. I mean a player that currently in the NBA, if you could add one player to the Knicks roster right now for the next 10 years, who would it be?
Oh, okay.
It's one of your favorites, so that's why I figured you might say him.
Luka?
Yeah, that's what I thought you could say. So, the Knicks versus Dallas are the Knicks scoring more points than Dallas is doing a game or less? The Mavericks have Luka, one of the best young players in the NBA. He makes the offense so much better. Are the Knicks scoring more points or less points than the Mavericks?
Andrew says more. I want to. I'm going to say more.
Your answer is correct. The Knicks are 23rd in the NBA in scoring at 105.9. The Mavericks are 26th at 104.
Wow. I don't know how the Mavericks are winning as many games as they do because after Luka and KP, it's not great.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not great. They got Frank, so there you go.
Oh, where are they now? Theo Pinson just got signed by the Mavs.
The Mavs are just obsessed with so Kemba's clearly going to be a Mav. Come on.
I mean, the Mavs have what, 6 Knicks now?
It's something absurd.
Yeah.
Okay, threes per game. The Knicks came into this season saying they want to shoot. They shot 33s a game last season. They came into the season saying they wanted to shoot 10 more threes a game. Remember this?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the number 35. Are the Knicks shooting? Last year they shot 30. They wanted to shoot 10 more games, so get to 40. Are they shooting higher or lower than 35 a game?
I'm going to say, based on their points per game, Andrew says more. I'm going to say less.
Andrew's right. More. They are
Sorry?
shooting 36.9, so 7 more threes basically a game.
I've gotten every single one wrong so far. Andrew, you want to be host next week? I'll take the week off.
I just found it all interesting, and there's not that much going with the Knicks right now. The stats I thought was interesting. Okay, assists per game.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks, generally speaking, they brought in Kemba to have a point guard who's better than Alfred, obviously. Who's supposed to be better than Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks' assists are very important to winning basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks are not winning basketball games. Are the Knicks under 15th in the NBA in assists?
Under. I'm confident about this one.
How confident? You're very confident? Would you bet your apartment, the entire apartment?
Andrew said less, way less, all in caps.
Okay, they are under. They're 29th in the NBA.
Yeah.
But here's a follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Last year's team was led by Alfred Payton.
Mm-hmm.
This year's team briefly was led by Kemba and now Burks as their starting point guard.
Yep.
Which team is averaging more assists?
Last year's team.
It was actually a trick question. It's a push. Both
Okay.
teams were averaging 21.4 assists a game. They did not approve the assists at all.
Great. Good job. Good job. Knicks.
Another area where the Knicks struggle with is second chances. It seems like their opponents seem to keep having second chances on offense. Would you agree with that?
It's weird how that works when you backs nobody out ever.
Ever. So defensive rebounding percentage. So basically, the number of second chances they're getting when there's a rebound to get, what percentage of rebounds are they getting on defense? Last year, they ranked 12th on defensive rebounding percentage. Over under 15th this year.
Under.
You sure?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
25th.
Andrew said under too.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're finding some reasons that the Knicks are so bad right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm getting it back.
Pace. Last year, the Knicks were last in the NBA at 96.32 per 100, whatever that means with pace. Are the Knicks higher or lower than last year's last place pace? Are they operating actually slower than last year?
I feel like the starters are, but the bench is operating. You got Obi who runs.
The Knicks bench still has one of the better plus minuses in the league.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say higher just based on the bench.
They are higher.
Andrew got that
But
right too.
yes, but so last year they were 96.32. This year they're 96.35.
Oh wow.
Barely better. And they're 26th this year instead of 30th.
Well, that's because the starters are holding them down.
Opponents' points in the paint. So Tibbs' strategy on defense is crowd the paint and jump out at three-point shooters, right?
Yeah. Or just crowd the paint and leave out the second part.
So opponents' points in the paint last year, the Knicks were. Where do you think the Knicks were last year? Just taking a guess.
Opponents playing the paint. I'm going to think it's good because Noel and Robinson both played really well. I'm going to say they were like 10th.
Last year they were 4th in the NBA
Okay,
in points in
yeah.
the paint. So yeah, Mitchell and Noel had a great season. So this year, are the Knicks higher or lower?
Way
points
lower. Way lower.
You sure?
Yeah. Very confident about this one.
What would you bet on this?
I do a burger bet. I think I got 3 burgers in the bank that you owe me, so I do a burger
You
bet.
want to do a burger bet?
Yeah, I'll do a burger bet.
Are you sure? You want to go double or nothing?
No. Just one burger.
The Knicks are actually better this season. They are 3rd in the NBA, and they're allowing even less points. Last year was 43.8. This year's 42.3.
How?
Somehow they're actually because they don't guard 3-point shooters. They just stay in the they stay in the paint.
That is true. That is true.
No one has to go to the paint. They're like we're all open out here. We can shoot a solid percentage, but we're completely open.
Right. Why would we battle on the inside when we have 3 guys open at the 3-point line?
Yeah, exactly. But that one really surprised me. Opponents' second chance points. We already mentioned that their defensive rebounding percentage is terrible.
Yeah.
Are the Knicks upper half or bottom half? 15th, basically, higher or lower than 15 in second chance points.
23rd.
You sure?
Yeah.
You gonna make another burger bet?
No, I'm not.
Actually, they're higher. They're 14th.
Again, like the eye test does not tell me that's true.
Yeah. But the other one, some of them are but this. Okay, opponent's 3-point shooting percentage. So I'm not even going to say top 15 or bottom. I'm going to say 20th. 20th is the. Are you going to be higher or lower than 20th?
Opponent's 3-point shooting percentage.
percentage. Yes. So we observed guys are open a lot. So last year the Knicks were, I think, the best team in the NBA in this. And this
Right,
is
which
the
was
thing
weird
that
because they weren't even covering the 3-point line that good. It's just teams missed a lot of shots for 82 straight games, which is like uncanny.
Where are the Knicks now? 20th? Are they higher or lower than 20th for not covering guys at 3-point shooting percentage? If not covering guys, what does that get you?
Let's see. Andrew says lower. I'm gonna say
When he says lower, you mean like below 20 or worse than 20? Better or worse?
yeah. I'm gonna say shooting percentage. Yeah, I'm gonna say they're worse than 20th.
Actually, better. They're 19th.
Huh. Okay.
But I will add, they're 19th in 3-point percentage at 35.5%. But they are 24th in 3-pointers attempted and made. Teams are taking a lot of threes against them because they're usually open, and overall it's not working. Overall, they're making up their misses by making some
Right.
with more shots. Yes.
Because they don't rebound. So okay.
Okay. So opponent's field goal percentage. How well? So last year, do you know where the Knicks finished opponent's field goal percentage?
It's first, right?
Yeah, goddamn first. That's how you get the 41 wins, Jay.
So I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go lower.
Yeah, definitely lower. So I'm going to give you 15. So I'm high. I'm better than 15 or worse than 15.
I'm gonna say better.
You sure?
Yeah.
You want to bet a burger?
No. You know the answers.
You-
This
you-
is like the worst betting ever.
You should have taken that one. They're better. They're seventh in the NBA. So they actually aren't doing bad at field goal percent. I mean, they do bad at a lot of categories, but field goal percentage, I guess because they're letting teams shoot so many threes, and threes is just a lower percentage shot.
Well, yeah. Based on what you said about the threes, they're taking more shots. They don't even have to shoot good. They just get a lot more shots.
So offensive defensive rating. I'm not going to give you. I'm just going to give you last year's numbers. I want to see if you can guess where they are this year. Last year, the Knicks were in the offense efficiency and defense efficiency. They were 4th in defense and 22nd in offense.
Mm-hmm.
So in the offseason, we said, well, if we could sacrifice a little bit of defense and get to the middle of the pack on offense, might be a really good team. That's why we got Kemba and Fournier. Sacrifice a little defense, more offense. Where are they this year? So offensive rating, they were 22nd last year. Where are they now?
Didn't you say 26th earlier?
No. That was
Points per game.
yeah, or something. Yeah. This is offensive effective. I don't know. I can't.
I love advanced stats.
This is advanced stats from NBA.com. Effective. I don't know. Okay. It's just percent. It's just
Andrew says 24th. I'm gonna say 25th.
okay. So you think they're worse in offense this year than they were last year?
Yeah.
They're actually better. They
So
are getting Fournier and Kemba has helped in the sense that last year they were 22nd. This year they're 18th.
So their plan worked. Grand
Yeah.
success.
Now the second part of their plan, they were 4th in defense this year. You think they're better this year?
No, I don't think they're better this year.
Are you sure?
No, I don't know what to think anymore.
I have a question. Then follow-up question. Before you even guess the number, are they, as far as where they rank, are they better or worse than they are on defense? So I said on defense, the Knicks are 18th this year. I meant on offense. On defense, are they better or worse than 18th?
Better than 18th.
You'd be wrong. They're 21st on defense.
Oh my God. So they
So
got way worse on defense and a tiny, tiny bit better on offense.
way worse.
Cool.
Cool. Good story, bro.
Hey, Mark. DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to New York. It won't be long until you can bet on all your favorite sports right here in the Empire State on the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app. You know DraftKings for their daily fantasy contests, and now they brought their expertise to sports betting so that sports fans everywhere can get in on the action. DraftKings Sportsbooks offers everything you would ever want from a sports betting app, from player props to same-game parlays. They have it all. In just a short time, you'll be able to bet on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your home with one of America's top-rated sportsbooks app, DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So check out DraftKings and tell them I sent you by using promo code NYKP. That's promo code NYKP. DraftKings Sportsbooks coming soon to New York State. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. Must be 21 plus and physically present in New York. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY.
You know, it's pretty cool.
What?
If this comes soon and players are still out for like COVID, you can make some interesting bets. You could be like, I know Matt Mooney. I know he's going to go off for the Knicks tonight. So I'm going to go all in on this sports betting.
I really like what our friend Bry's doing with the parlays. He tries to pick like 6 different things that'll happen in a game, and you put in $1, and if all 6 things happen, you can win like $600.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Like that's kind of awesome. Get here now, sports betting in New York. On Facebook, Rue writes, do the Knicks even have a set offense? Are there any actual out-of-bounds plays after a timeout or after timeout plays, or is it just iso ball and hope to make a shot?
Iso ball.
Why don't the Knicks? I mean, he's right. The Knicks don't seem to have much of an offense. Why didn't they hire someone to run the offense? Like Tibbs clearly is not like it's not Mr. I'm going to run the offense. Why don't they have an offensive coordinator? Why don't teams do this more?
Yes, I mean, weren't the Knicks kind of trying to do that when D'Antoni was there? They tried to bring in some defensive coaches to kind of help him out.
Yeah. I don't know if any of the assistant coaches try to do this more, but it does seem like.
Oh, you know what teams do that?
Good teams?
Good teams. Good teams.
It just does seem like the Knicks, like, there's not a lot of. The offense seems to be go out there and try to do something, but if Randall puts his arm up, like, just throw him the ball and
There's
we're good.
There's a clip of Tibbs yelling ISO near the end of a game to Randall.
Randall's like, you didn't have to tell me. I already knew.
Way ahead of you, coach.
Oh, coach, he's calling audible. I called ISO. I never saw this coming. Frank, if you guys look at all the times you said, I wish the Knicks wouldn't go down by 20 before playing with urgency or something to that effect over the course of the entire 554 podcasts and splice them all together, how many hours of recording do you think it would account for?
I think we could probably make a full episode of just that.
And then some.
This is what, our 12th or 13th season doing this? Like, I think we've said it pretty much every season.
Multiple times a season. Frank writes, this might be a stretch, but how much of an impact do you think would it be helpful if when the Knicks get there, they like slip a couple dollars to the guys manning the scoreboard, and the Knicks just get there and they're like, hey, we're down 30-0 and it hasn't even been tip off? Yeah, that's what they're doing to us. Better play hard. Frank writes, this might be a stretch, but how much of an impact do you think playing in front of crowds has had on the players as far as their regressing is concerned, and more specifically, Randall? We saw his signing as the Knicks taking a flyer on him. He then vastly exceeded expectations last year and has now obviously regressed. What do you think?
You think he gets jitters in front of a crowd?
I mean, there was a crowd the second half of the season. Like, as of like around February, players started like the Garden started like people started going to the Garden again, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't like 17,000 people all screaming. I mean, I could see that being intimidating.
But it's not like he's like a rookie. Like, he played before big crowds. Like, he's had a whole NBA career before this. I wonder if the new ball screwed him up a little bit.
Maybe.
Or maybe the Hawks series just screwed him up completely, and he still can't get over the Hawks series. I mean, it could be a combination of the Hawks series messing with him, then trying to figure out how I'm supposed to play with Kemba and Fournier, and then I don't know. And other teams adapt, and I think a lot of teams have done what the Hawks did against them. They do a lot of double teaming, and it's more double teaming than he was used to last season, and it's just messing with him.
They should really, in practice, just practice him passing out of double teams over and over again.
Are you going to lose it if you see Randall look off another open three?
I mean, I know he's not hitting them, but like when you're wide open, just shoot it. The guy did shoot 40% last year.
I'm convinced he can shoot threes still. Just keep taking them. You're not Obi, where I'm really convinced you should never take a three again. Like, just keep taking. Like, every time he like looks it off and passes, or like that's the drive to the basket and driving to three guys, because he could shoot an open three, so he just got to drive into three guys. Like,
Andrew says, "How much do you think we are missing Mike Woodson?" I think we are missing Mike Woodson.
I don't know what Mike Wisdom does behind the scenes, but yeah, why not? He was gone. He was only here half the season last year.
Yeah,
wasn't he? Didn't he get a job like halfway through the season and left?
And Anthony said Randall has hurt my heart this season for sure.
I was all in on them. Obviously, you can go back. I was all in on the Knicks like extending him, and I was really happy about it. And now not to be the worst fan ever, but I'm like, the offense looks better without Randall. Would it be okay if they moved on from him?
Yeah. Jonathan writes, so apparently Barrett's work ethic is not that great, according to Tibbs. That's so disappointing to hear. How the hell are you, a 3-year player, and already your coach is questioning your work ethic? Bad luck for RJ. Thoughts?
At least the scouting report we got was on him that he was a really hard worker. If he's not, then that would be really disappointing. I'm hoping that he said his stomach was really messing with him for a few weeks, and then he had that good game, and now he's out with COVID, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, Barrett, congrats on the good game. You've got COVID now. Though I think he had a bad game after that one.
Going back to the Facebook comment, Jorge writes, is it wrong of me to wish COVID comes back full strength so MSG can be empty so Randall can ball out? Also, Jay, I never want to hear Randall is better than Melo again. Fair. He did have a better season. Okay, I'm not even gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you really. So I was also looking at some more stats. Do you know who's been awful at defending guys in the paint this year?
The Knicks.
Yeah.
Like, just everyone collectively.
I just said the Knicks collectively have actually been very good at defending guys in the paint.
I don't believe
it. So if you I'm looking at basically players who NBA has the NBA.com has lots of advanced stats, and they have your field goal percentage, the opponent's field goal percentage, less than 5 feet from the basket. Now, if you look at Nerlens Noel, his opponent's field goal percentage is 53.6%, which is less than 5 from the basket. It's actually very good.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if we pull back from last season to give you a sense of it also, last year the Knicks were obviously we would say those guys had really good seasons, right?
Yeah.
And last year, let me find their numbers. Last year, Noel was 57%. So he's actually a little better this year, even though Noel, it's hard to tell how good he's been this year. Oh, actually, never mind. Wow. I thought numbers were going to be better for him. I thought Mitchell Robinson last year was 60%, which is still pretty bad.
Yeah.
This year, but I guess he was injured most of last season. This year, he's 64%. It seems like pretty bad numbers for defending the paint.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson has not been very good this year.
Nope. I also want to thank our newest Patreon. So thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Patreon.com/NYNix podcast if you want to help support the show.
Yes, that is awesome. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your Patreon contribution. Much more do we appreciate Mitchell Robinson's contribution, apparently, under the basket.
I think you Patreons have contributed more than a bunch of the Knicks on the roster this season.
Who is the worst Knick at defending the three-point shot that gets major minutes?
Are we counting Mitch trying to come out to...
Spoiler alert, Jay. That's the answer I was going for.
Yeah.
He is allowing 38%. He just doesn't guard anyone.
You know, it
But-
seems like if anybody gets out more than 10 feet, he's just like, eh.
Yeah, he just doesn't. On 316 attempts, 38%. He just doesn't. Do you know who's second worst from guys that got major minutes? Kemba. He's worse than Kemba at guarding 3-point shooters.
Awesome. That is great. That's what you want from your defensive anchor.
Actually, the best part is, so first, Miles McBride and Knox are first on very low attempts for 1 and 2. But after 1 and 2, it's Mitch, then Kemba, then Fournier, then Randall, then Barrett. Starting lineup.
Jesus Christ. On that note,
what are the Knicks got coming up?
by the way, we're nearing the end of the Knicks' easy part of the schedule.
Wait, what? Come again?
Starting February 2nd, it's like 6 weeks.
It gets worse than this shit?
It's 6 weeks of just playoff teams. Like it's terrible. So they have 1 month to get their crap together. Anyway, we have tomorrow.
So the Knicks are 13 and 16 on the good part of the schedule. 13 and 17, sorry, on the good part of the schedule.
Yeah. Like I said, starting February 2nd, it's like just death. Detroit this week they have Detroit, Washington, and Atlanta all home.
Wow, 3 home games. That's pretty cool. Including a Christmas Day game.
Yep.
So in theory, the Knicks should go 2-1 this week. They should beat Detroit because Detroit has won like 4 games this year. By the way, Orlando's won 5 games and 2 of them are against the Knicks.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't just a nightmare
yes.
that really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be either Washington. Atlanta's not playing that great. You'd think the Knicks would be pretty fired up to play Atlanta. So I would think either Washington or Atlanta would be a win. I'd say 2-1 this week, Jay. Is that crazy?
No, I don't think that's crazy. I think 2-1. I feel good about that.
Okay. 0-3, so pretty much guaranteed?
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we are NY Knicks Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. Mark's going to make a TikTok soon. It'll be NY Knicks Podcast. If you want to watch the show live, we're on YouTube and Twitch. It is youtube.com/TITOWAJ, and Twitch is twitch.tv/crumpledbacon. You could join the chat and put in questions while we do the show, and it's fun. And
The TikTok is just going to be me watching the Knicks try to play defense and crying.
Andrew said he thinks he found your TikTok account.
Oh, I do have a TikTok account. It's weird. So I do have a TikTok account. I haven't posted a single video because I don't post. I haven't posted a single video, but I already have followers. Like, it's weird. I'm assuming they're like bots or I don't know, but I have like 10 followers. And I'm like, how do I get followers if I don't post videos?
Yeah, bots follow. Like, our YouTube has over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm pretty sure.
Jay, these are all legit subscribers. Come on. Other people have bots. We have legit subscribers.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining in the chat. Appreciate it. And we're going to do our comedy show, The Brink of Sanity, on Wednesday. So you can check that out, brinkofsanityshow.com, Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. Yeah. All right. So we'll be back soon. Goodbye, everybody. Where's the goodbye song? There it is.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.